This is really hard. I don't even use tarot this way. I I don't know where to start. I don't even know. I'm looking at piles and piles of decks and thinking to myself, I have never entertained the tarot this way ever. Welcome, card readers. April here with Tarot and Witchery, and today I am doing a VR to Waves of the Soul, her hashtag good mood decks. I'm so behind on hashtags. This was so hard, you guys. This was really, really hard for me. I learned so much about myself. I've been looking at decks and pulling them out and really struggling with this one, and I'll tell you why. So much like Candy on Candy, Soil, and Soul, I first pulled out some decks. Like, this was the first deck I pulled out thinking, this is a good mood. This deck makes me happy. This just puts me in a good mood. The by Kitten Chops, Playful Tarot. And then I really started thinking about it, and I was like, no, actually, this is a deep work deck for me. Although it's colorful and bright and lovely and just beautiful to look at, it is definitely not something that I just pull out when I want to be in a good mood. And it's so interesting because I began to really look at my deck collection and see that, honestly, you guys, I am such a serious person. And happy is not something that I have necessarily been seeking or recognizing in my life so much, except over the last couple years. I'd say like the last 5 years. That sounds crazy. So at about 45, I started thinking about happy a little bit more. This was the second deck that I pulled out. It's the Muse Tarot, and it's so beautiful. It's so lovely. It's so bright. It makes me feel beautiful. And then I thought, this actually is not a good mood deck. This is a divine feminine deck for me. So, interestingly enough, for years, has to do with like a kind of a vow that I made at some point. As a single parent, life was really difficult for me for a while. And so I sought after contentment and not happiness. And I actually said to myself over and over again, happiness is circumstantial. And this is not about circumstance. I'm seeking contentment. So it isn't until about the last 5 years that I was like, forget that. That's lame. I'm going for happy. So interestingly enough, you guys, I don't have a lot of what I would consider good mood decks because I use my decks for personal growth. But it made me think, I need more happy decks. So I'm going to share with you the ones that I did find that, like, if I want to be in a good mood, if I need a pick-me-up, these are my decks. So first, let's start off with a really simple one, the Everyday Witch Tarot. I love this. I love this. This puts me in a place where I can get playful with my life. And I feel lighter. I just feel like I can, first of all, there's a cat in every one of these cards. And so I absolutely love that because I'm a cat person and nothing makes me feel happier than petting my cats. Seriously, petting my cats or being in nature. And so there's a cat in every card. And then there's just something so accessible about this. Like, I don't have to try hard to read it. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that lovely? I think that's so pretty. I like the colors. I like the illustration style. It's just so playful and light. I mean, I never feel bogged down by this deck. I never feel like this is a heavy deck. And so for that reason, I chose this, the Everyday Witch Tarot. I'm kind of curious, how many of you out there feel like you have a selection of good mood decks? This was a really great exercise for me because, like I said, I really struggled with it. And it makes me think, like, I need to be searching for happy decks, for decks that just make me happy. Now, Kitten Shops does have an extension pack that comes with her tarot. And I would say this is definitely something that when I need a pick-me-up, when I just need to be in a good mood, like I feel like the world is just not what I want it to be, I can grab this. It's a very small, I think there's like 16 cards here or something like that. This is the extension pack and the original. So I really hope she'll make an oracle. Express your joy, let go, say goodbye. Wow, you got it. Explore true abundance. I mean, look at these colors. Look at this card, you guys. Look. Oh my gosh. I mean, if that doesn't say I'm in a great mood, you know, I don't know what does. Look at the smile on her face. So I really love the extension pack. It just lifts me up. I think you can actually buy just the extension pack and get these cards on her website. I will link her website down below as with all these decks. But embrace your inner child. Look at how happy. I mean, she's got a little strawberry hat on. I mean, I feel so happy when I take these out. And if I need a boost, like if I need a shot in the arm, I'm going to grab these cards and just pull one and let it give me a smile. It just instantly lifts me. The next one is a newer deck, and you may not be familiar with it. It's a Kickstarter, the Trash Panda Tarot. And it's newer for me, but I love this deck. I love, love, love this deck. Look at the backs. They're super cool. It's just so fun. I mean, look at this. Okay. 3 of Cups. Look at them just like partying down in the fountain with soda, the Trash Panda, which is, of course, the raccoon. Yeah, I just absolutely love this deck. It just feels like it's playful, it's light. I mean, how can you be heavy with this? You can't be heavy with it. Even the 9 of Swords, look at it. It just feels like I can easily grab hold of the messages and in a light way. I mean, I love this. The cups are all cans. Look at this 9 of Pentacles. It's happy. Look how bright it is. I love raccoons. I feel like they are such a fun animal that is playful and mischievous and really, really smart. If you're not from North America, you might not be familiar with them. And if you are familiar with them, they might even exasperate you a bit. Look at this. The rainbow. Look, you guys. They're on a unicorn floaty with a rainbow tail. I mean, it's just amazing. Look at this. This is like, it's just so much fun. It just makes me feel like giggling. It's just crazy. Like, how many of you like remember these? Like when my first kid was really little, these were super popular. These little plastic drive around things, and they're taking off with it, and they've got the fork. I mean, it's just, I love this. Look at this one. It's got the marshmallows going for it. I mean, you just can't be in a bad mood with these raccoons goofing off and smiling and being mischievous and doing what they do in a way that only they can do it, you know? I mean, it's incredible. It's such a fun deck. And like I said, I haven't worked with it much, but it makes me happy. It lifts my mood instantaneously. I just love it. Yeah. I love it. So check it out. I don't even know, you guys, I don't know if this is available or not because it was a Kickstarter. I just got it like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or actually maybe a month ago. So it is new. I think she may have some. I will try to link it down below. All right. Next is, okay. You guys, I had a moment when I was getting this in the mail, and have you ever had a tuck box that just wouldn't open? And I just got so frustrated, and obviously I was not my best self, and I just tore it open, just completely tore it out. It's a very inexpensive tuck box. This is the Magieseer Tarot. And the reason why I chose this one is because The colors are really bright. It's just a Rider-Waite clone, but I love the coloring on it. Like, it's just super, super bright, super accessible. And to me, this deck, you know, I wouldn't choose, let me just grab it. I would not choose my Dirty Pam. Like, my Dirty Pam, very different coloring, very serious. But for me, this deck was like the first time I bought like another Rider-Waite clone. And I got it because I had just become so comfortable with the Rider-Waite Smith, the original, that I felt like it was time to have another one. And so for me, it's so comfortable. It's so bright. This is not a color scheme that I normally gravitate towards, but I wanted something that felt light, that felt easy, that felt like an old friend that I could laugh with. And I know that sounds weird, but this deck does it for me. This deck really, I can pick it up and I don't have to work hard to read it. And because the colors are so bright, I find myself in just a lighter place. It's not serious for me. And again, like I said, I really struggle with this whole notion because I use tarot rather seriously. So it made me think like, wow, I need to cultivate more happy in my life. And therefore, I need to really be looking for some decks that help me do that. Just wondering if anybody else out there has this strange opinion about decks. Okay, next on my list is the Morgan's Tarot. And the reason is because this reminds me, the illustrations of this remind me of a Shel Silverstein book, Where the Sidewalk Ends. Does anybody out there remember that book? I grew up with that book and I love it. And the illustrations really remind me of that. It reminds me of the 1970s. It reminds me of a simpler time. It's just, I mean, look at this. Freak. Be careful going around curves. There's just something zany about this that makes me, I mean, I don't feel heavy at all. Just a blank card. Very cool. And I think this is such a great deck as a jump off point, but sometimes just look, I mean, that's hilarious. Sometimes you don't want to go deep. And I realize that this is the type of deck that you can just grab and pull a card and kind of smile. Mushroom. Down home funk. I mean, come on, this is so 70s. But it does. It totally reminds me of reading Where the Sidewalk Ends, which I did a lot as a kid. Just loved those books and the poetry in there. And I loved the illustrations. It was line work like this. And it feels like whoever did this deck, do wacky do. Come on, you guys. There's just nothing serious about this. I mean, I guess it could be. It's a dog eat dog food world. I mean, why? Well, why not? It just feels like somebody tapped into the lackadaisical, easygoing, get in the flow, don't make it so serious aspect of the universe. Like total trust. Let's have a good time. This is just a wild ride down here. You can do it. Start laughing more and get less serious. I mean, to me, there are no others. Just great. Just great little messages. What's that? Well, it's okay. Whatever it is, you can just, reminds me of an Atari game. Who remembers Atari? It's just so bizarre. This is definitely somebody was on psychedelics when they made this deck, you know, and it's worth checking out. If you don't have it, it's not expensive, and I feel like it just tee-hee, ha-ha. It lifts your mood instantaneously, and I love it for that. It's really simple, but again, like I said, it takes me to my really young childlike self, where I don't have to think about I didn't have to think about anything. I didn't have to worry. Is the Divine Energy Oracle by Sonia Choquette. I've talked about this on my 6 underrated Oracle decks. This is just so easy. This is like, do you have a friend that you can get around, and if you haven't seen them for a long time, it's like no time has passed, and you can just laugh and be with each other and enjoy each other's company, and there's never like muck under the bridge. If it is, you work through it. It's just that kind of friendship that is near and dear, the kind of friendship that you could just be so relaxed. You could tell this person anything. And that puts me in a good mood. It puts me in a good mood to be with a deck that I know I can trust and that is always going to be truthful with me and at the same time help me lighten up, because I am so dang serious. So dang serious. So for me, this is a good mood deck. I really struggled with whether or not to put this one in here, but I feel like this just does it for me. Like it lightens me up. There's something about the energy that was channeled into this deck that makes me feel like it's just not so serious. Like life is something that I can play with. And when I feel like I can play, I'm in a good mood. I can feel that it really is. Oh, wait, I do have one more deck that I want to share with you. I have it right over here. I'd put it off to the other side. This last deck, again, reminds me of my childhood. Every year we would go to the beach, we'd go to San Clemente, and we would camp. The Sea Melodies deck. And like I open this up and it's so weird. I can smell the salt air. Explore. Map show what has already been discovered. Go another way. And every year as kids, we would get together and we would just run the beach. We'd all camp. It was my cousins and I. We would all camp and run around and just get sunburnt. And we had this boat and we would boat around and we would dig holes on the beach. And we would make sand castles. Like I can feel the sun on my skin with this deck. I can smell the salt, the laughter. It smells like campfires with the ocean breeze right by, and marshmallows and eating cold melon. And although I don't drink soda pop anymore, having a soda pop on the beach, running all the way down to the little camp store and gathering up pennies, you guys, to buy Bazooka bubble gum. Who remembers Bazooka bubble gum? This feels like this to me. This feels like, those are my favorite memories. Just they're wonderful memories with my cousins in a time that was simple and carefree. And I actually have this in my car right now. And I've been pulling these just like at stoplights, and I just love them. They're really simple. I love the little nautical signs on them. And they actually do have, somebody pointed it out to me, they do have something different on the front here. They do have little different symbols. There's a turtle. There's some clouds. It's really interesting. So they do have little different symbols on them. There's a seahorse on the empathy one. And I love this deck. Very, very simple. Just sweet. What are your good mood decks? Let me know down below. This is such a great exercise to do, you guys. Really. It's a great exercise to do because I think that you will really learn something about yourself. And, you know, what is a good mood? How do you find a good mood? How accessible is a good mood to you? What does that really mean? I really had to think hard on this one. And like I said, I don't have a lot of decks that do that for me. And I'm going to need to find some more. I'm going to have to, oh no, I've got to get another deck, you guys. Oh no, anything but that. Yeah. So Let me know what your decks are that you love. And until we meet again, may you find your happiness in unexpected places. May your good mood deck never be far out of reach. And may the sun shine on your face in a way that makes you smile and your eyes turn bright.